I wish I had good news for everybody, but this is very, very serious. And we cannot trust the Trump administration's reports or data. Sorry, Caroline. Far from it. Here's what's going on with company layoffs and the economy. We already know American Axle is suing the Trump administration. They're an auto parts manufacturer because they say the tariffs are putting them out of business and they're getting ready to lay off a bunch of people. We already know that Ford and GM's profits were completely wiped out the second quarter because of tariffs. P&G will be cutting 7,000 white-collar jobs. When I go through the list of companies that are laying off, they all attribute it to decreased global sales and sales within the United States because of economic uncertainty due to the tariffs and the increase in prices because they're producing parts that they have to charge more for, so people are buying less, all again thanks to tariffs. And also a lot of these jobs are being replaced by AI. And I want you to remember that this big, beautiful bill put a provision in there for the next 10 years. Not one politician, nobody can touch AI. They can, whoever owns AI services, including Elon Musk, can do whatever they want without repercussions. So MAGA, I want you to keep all this in mind. So P&G is cutting 7,000 jobs. Special mention, Kentucky. Kentucky is getting ready to lose 23,000 jobs because their three leading bourbon producers have all filed for bankruptcy. A lot of it having to do with Canada being one of their lead countries that they export their products to that are no longer selling their products because of the tariffs. Let's see. Microsoft, 9,000 jobs. Meta, Google, Amazon's cloud computing arm. Intel, a microchip manufacturer, is laying off 10,000 employees. ZoomInfo, Chegg, PwC, Chevron, Boeing, JP Morgan Chase, Cargill, Wells Fargo, Marriott, UPS, 20,000 jobs. Dell, Nissan, 11,000 jobs. Intel, Microsoft, HBC, DHL, BP, Bosch, Jaguar, Sarepta Therapeutics, Alaska Air, Indeed, and Glassdoor, which I find interesting. They post all the job openings, and I guess there just aren't as many job openings anymore. Procter & Gamble, 7,000 employees. Clark's, Allianz, Intel, 15,000 employees. Blue Diamond Growers, Walmart, CrowdStrike, IBM, MasterCard, Cisco, 7,000. They're a food supplier for schools and hospitals and restaurants and you name it. Stellantis, 2,450. Optum, part of United Healthcare. They have clinics in rural areas. They're going to be closing a bunch of their clinics, leaving a lot of people without a job. Mercury Marine, Intuit, NatWest, Ford. The list goes on and on. I just didn't want to sit there and spend the rest of my day writing it all. I am not including all the companies around the world that are also laying off because of Trump's tariffs. This has caused a worldwide economic dire situation. It's not just harming Americans anymore. And the numbers cannot be trusted from the administration. You can't trust their data, unemployment numbers or what have you because of falling survey responses. Unemployment numbers rely on surveys being submitted to the government. And there's big concern that companies that have already shut down or are MAGA supporting companies are not turning in their surveys that they lost jobs. They eliminated jobs, causing higher unemployment because of budget cuts and staffing shortages in this administration, and because the Trump administration disbanded the advisory committees that are there to confirm statistical accuracy of data coming out of the Trump administration. When we look at the unemployment rate and how Caroline Leavitt and others portrayed as it's low, there's one number that's disturbingly high within that number, and that's the highest number to date. Over 25% of the jobs being occupied right now in the United States are leave those employees what's called functionally unemployed, meaning they make under $24,000, don't have any benefits. So they're essentially unemployed. They're in poverty. Over 25% of jobs in the United States are filled by people who are functionally unemployed because of how poor the pay is. And so that makes the unemployment rate look like it's great. There's so much more to the story. But MAGA, you're part of a lot of these layoffs for sure.